Only real movie fans notice these. TV show, The Last of Us. The new post-apocalyptic series of HBO based on the wildly popular video game franchise, The Last of Us, is finally here. This video game is about the survivors of a devastating pandemic and has a cult following. Fans and newcomers alike have already started to make comparisons to the source material as we expected. In this video, we're going to reveal 10 things that only real movie fans noticed in the new TV show, The Last of Us. But before starting, smash the subscribe button to make sure you don't miss more amazing videos. Number 10. Memorable mantra. When you're lost in the darkness, look for the light. The Fireflies first used this mantra, but later it was given to The Last of Us players, making it a powerful and memorable mantra. But only real movie fans would have noticed that it was the first said in the opening credits, when the news snippets are playing regarding the outbreak and then the Fireflies. Marlene delivers the final few lines and says this mantra before adding, "Believe in the Fireflies." When Joel is selling narcotics to a security guard in an alley and glances up to see the words spray painted above him on a building, the mantra is first seen here in the series premiere. After that, the mantra appears numerous times in the first episode and is frequently associated with the Fireflies logo. Number 9. Sarah's shirt. What makes this series the most accurate adaptation of the video game, The Last of Us, is Sarah. Since the players start the game as Sarah, the TV show pays tribute to the original video game by giving us a glimpse of the premiere from Sarah's point of view. However, the TV show did change some details about Sarah, such as her age, hair color, and race. Yet one particular aspect of her that many gamers would have noticed is her t-shirt. Sarah is depicted in the video game wearing the same light purple t-shirt with the fictional band Hallican Drops. While there's no denying that Sarah had a brief role in both the series and the video game, her character is crucial for Joel and Ellie. Fans also noticed that many of the tour date destinations were found on Sarah's shirt, which represented areas Joel will travel to in the future. And most probably, Sarah's shirt indicates the direction the series will take next, depending on how accurate the show has already been. Number 8. Joel's watch. Not long before the zombie outbreak, there was a small but pretty important moment. Sarah got her dad's broken watch repaired and gave it to her dad, Joel. The video game only mentions Sarah fixing Joel's watch, but this fantastic TV series goes into great detail about the entire experience. It started when Sarah breaks into her father's room to steal the watch and some money, and then rushes into the shop to get it fixed. At that moment, one of the employees decides it's not safe to keep the shop open as the outbreak starts. In spite of the watch being broken, Joel is shown wearing it throughout the whole game, adding to the watch's importance. Number 7. The timeline. The video game players are well aware of the initial time jump as Sarah dies in the arms of Joel. In the next scene, you see older Joel 20 years in the future. Most of you would have noticed that the outbreak began in 2013 within the video game, and then it skips to 2033. The initial year was selected 2013 because it was also the year the video game was released. However, in the video game adaptation, the outbreak happened in 2003, and then the 20-year time skip brings us to 2023, the present year. This change was probably made since the worldwide pandemic is not a science fiction anymore. The altered timeline makes The Last of Us TV series even more relatable than it previously was. Number 6. The score. The Last of Us has been well known for its ominous guitar strings, evoking memories of The Walking Dead's early seasons when the apocalypse first started, or made viewers jolt out of their chairs by jump-scaring you. Gustavo Santaolalla was not only the writer of the memorable score, but he also returns to composing in the TV series. Thanks to him, the video game adaptation stays true to its origins. You'd also have recognized the distinctive guitar twangs that were played throughout the first episode of the series if you're a true game fan. Number 5. Different turns and urgency. In the game, a crazy maniac neighbor comes into the Miller home and is killed by a decisive gunshot. This is the first interaction of Joel and Sarah with an infected individual, and it plays out drastically different in the video game versus the TV series. In the video adaptation, you'd have noticed an old friend of Joel's runs out of her home before the final blow is delivered. Outside of that plot point, the biggest difference concerns the deal Joel with the Fireflies. In the game, he initially agrees to work with this group to get the guns he was promised in the show. Joel works with the Fireflies to obtain transport so he can assist his MIA brother. And the live-action adaptation adds more urgency to his Firefly deal. Number 4. DVDs yet to be released. Did you notice the DVDs from the future? Just before the start of the horrifying pandemic, a freeze frame shows classics like The Emperor's New Groove and Ocean's 11, while Sarah goes through her neighbor's collection of DVDs. However, a few movies shouldn't be there at all, because this TV scene takes place in the fall of 2003, which was a bit too early for Sinbad, or 2005's Murder Ball to be available. The most obvious error is the box trolls, since it transpires that the popular and much-loved animated movie wasn't released until 2014. And we're left wondering if someone on the set just forgot to double-check the DVD release dates, or if this DVD shelf was a carefully planned location for time travel like the bookshelf scene in Interstellar. Number 3. Musical Easter eggs. During The Last of Us Part, the only real movie fans would have noticed the guitar set up in the living room as Sarah slowly makes her way through her house after being awakened by the sounds of chaos all around her. For the fans of the series, just the sight of the instrument may cause them to tear up. Ellie is given a guitar by Joel after he sings her a tender song and makes a promise to teach her how to play it. Sadly, Ellie and Joel don't have much time to practice music together before they sadly part ways, but she continues learning and eventually becomes an accomplished guitarist. Number 2. Ellie's big name drop. A huge piece of backstory is revealed by the conversation between Ellie and Firefly leader Marlene. After being held captive by the rebel group, the child is naturally reluctant to comply and says, "You think I chose that place? They put me there when I was a baby. It's for orphans." But Ellie gets totally shocked the moment she hears the name Riley. Throughout the video game, Riley was one of her best friends, but before they explored if they could also become lovers in the world, they were both bitten, and the only person to survive the virus was Ellie. The reaction from Ellie is a clear indication the scenes between the two will be quite emotional. Number 1. The infection is depicted perfectly. Did you pay attention to the ominous warning at the beginning of the video game adaptation? You'd have noticed that The Last of Us begins with an unsettling warning about what happens when an insect is infected with a certain fungal strain. The scientist's speech wonderfully captures a series of events and stages about how a real-life zombie and fungus functions in the real world. The show doesn't start showing the protagonists like it normally would. According to the scientist, an infected insect may spasm, behave oddly, and have spores come out of its body when it's infected. The warning signs of infection displayed on a poster within the episode perfectly mirror how the zombie ant virus works. And Sarah even witnesses the last symptom herself. These small but significant details perfectly foreshadow what's about to come ahead, and also highlight this terrifying phenomenon in nature. Did you notice all these things in the TV series The Last of Us? What did you like most about the video game adaptation of The Last of Us video game? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. Give this video a thumbs up and stay tuned for more exciting videos like these. We'll be back soon.